Thank you very much. To the latest now on the fight against COVID, and Pfizer could be approving a vaccine for children ages 5 to 11 by Halloween. That is according to Reuters and is based on the expectation that Pfizer will have enough data from its clinical trials for the age group in the next few weeks.
That is our goal, October. We are doing everything we can now to move these trials ahead, and they're moving ahead well.
Joining me now to talk more about this is Dr. John Schreiber. He is the interim chief of Pediatric Infectious Diseases at Connecticut Children. Doctor, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
So obviously some pretty big information today for parents out there. How realistic do you think it is that vaccines could be available by the end of October?
Well, I think it's very realistic that the Pfizer vaccine will be available this fall. There is a process that Pfizer is going to have to go through. They have great data, they say. It has to be presented to the FDA, and it's reviewed by a lot of external scientists to determine whether it's safe and effective. In the preliminary studies, they say it is, and I'm very excited as a pediatric infectious disease doctor. We're really excited that there will be a vaccine, we hope, available later this fall for children down to age 5.
Our Vote Now poll today is asking parents about whether this Pfizer vaccine becomes available to children ages 5 and 11 if they will have their children vaccinated. And at last check, it was 60% no. There is obviously still vaccine hesitancy out there, especially with parents of these young children. What do you say to those people who are really on the fence right now about getting their kids vaccinated?
Well, first, let's look at the data. And if the data are like it was for adults, it was very safe, very effective. And if you look at New England, we are doing well because so many people have been immunized. I think for children, I'm a parent and a grandparent. And as always, parents are the best advocates for their kids, and they need to think this through. Right now, the vaccine seems to be very safe and effective. It's knocked the heck out of the pandemic in New England. You look at Mississippi and Alabama and Georgia, and the children's hospitals are full of children sick with COVID. And the reason is, even though children don't get as sick as often as adults, when you infect millions of children and everyone gets infected, many of them end up in the hospital, some in the ICU, and unfortunately some die. And so we need to think like that. We really don't want all our children, thousands and thousands of children get infected, because there will be some who get very, very sick. And if you're the parent of that child, it's, oh my God, why didn't I immunize my child? So we are recommending, if the data are good, which we will look at later in October when it's presented, that children down to age 5 get immunized. The same decision in my family. We have a grandchild around that age, and our family has decided that we will immunize him. We want him in school, want him to be safe. We don't want him to get this disease and end up in the ICU, and we don't want him to infect other people. And children can bring it home from school and infect other people. Finally, we really want to keep the schools open. We need to move back to a more normal place where we can keep the schools open. Maybe the masks come off. Maybe we can move to a better place, and immunization will help us get there. So those are my reasons that we would move ahead and recommend that.
Well, a lot of good and very, very important information. Dr. John Schreiber, we appreciate your expertise. Thank you so much for being with us.